Hello, friends. Ooh, I might have been a bit far away from the microphone then. Hi, guys. Did I leave that door open? Just about, it's fine. Ooh, tonight has been an interesting setup because I'm doing something I haven't done for a while, which is set up to paint. It's been a long time since I've done that, and my setup was not organized for it. I think I've got it right. Let's see. It all looks good so far. Now, this is where I'm going to struggle because... Hang on, if I turn off studio mode here. There we go, I can see a bit better. Yeah, Right. Here's the fun of sorting out my focus level midstream. I'm going to have to do this many times because... yeah, I'm going to move around a lot. I'll try not to, but... Okay, so let's... The overview of what I'm painting and what I'm doing. So, I am painting some Warhammer 40k Primaris Space Marines. I have chosen not to do my normal colour scheme, which is purple. Everything purple. So, the Emperor's Children, I've got Dornian Heresy, Loyalist Emperor's Children in the cabinet behind me. Not doing that, because I paint everything purple and it gets samey after a while. So, I decided to paint up something different. And I've not done red armour before. So, this is a homebrew chapter I found online. They are the Blood Eagle Space Marines. They're vaguely Viking, but not, because they're not Viking. They're... The lore that I pulled them from is they are Blood Angel successors. And I don't think I mind that. I certainly don't mind them not being Space Wolf successor chapter, because like the Space Wolves are fine, but I don't like the... I'm not overly fond of wolves. They're nice big puppers, but I prefer bears. I like polar bears. They're fun. But that's just... You know. I know the Vikings also like bears. So, like, it's one of the, like, things. I know Björn Ironside is... I think they called him a bear. It's like... I don't know. I'm waffling because I'm not entirely sure what I'm talking about, so I'm going to take this opportunity to change the subject before I embarrass myself more. It'll happen a lot. Anyway, yeah, I don't particularly like the lore for these guys, because the lore for them is like, oh, they fight in daily combats, and the losers go to the low house, and the winners get... And it's all like, kind of... Oh, I'm going to keep knocking that, aren't I? It kind of plays into the Christian... Vikings were savages. Now, yes, they were brutal warriors, but they weren't savages. But obviously, let's not romanticize them and say that they were lovely, wonderful, peaceful people, because they certainly weren't. So I may do my own version of the lore for them, but this is, kind of unnecessary to waffle on about. The big point is, however, because it's a homebrew chapter, there's no transfers that I can use for them. So I'm having to freehand all of these on. Hang on, let me get it nice and close and see if I can get the camera to focus on that. Like, I'm not an expert in freehanding in any way, shape, or form. And that's the second attempt. The first attempt was that, and I'm not entirely sure which one I prefer more. And then attempt number 3. They're all kind of different. I may go through and clean them up again at some point, but that's what it is for now. So tonight, I'm going to try and get these two bodies done to similar standard. I've got the bodies done. I've got a pile of shoulder pads off to the side here, ready and waiting to go. A pile of power packs waiting, and then a bunch of heads on sticks. I can't promise how well you'll be able to see it if I get to the heads, because they're real fiddly, and to get them in the light and also to be able to see them myself, it might get a bit awkward to see, but we'll find out. Oh yeah, and I've got weapons ready and glued together, and I've tested them several times, and they do quite nicely just fit on. So obviously once I've painted that up, I can just glue it in place, and I know the arms are in the right place, I know it all fits, and then I can put the shoulder pads on, head, backpack on, and then they're kind of done. The only thing you may have noticed is these guys are still on plain black bases, whereas the veteran sergeant, or sergeant actually, because he's not a veteran sergeant, this is a problem I had when I was working out the colours and stuff. The sergeant has a nice snowy landscape base. They're all going to have this same base when I'm done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until I've got those 4 finished, base them all up, and then once I've gotten to these 5 at the back, I will do them all in one go. Actually have one of the weapons for the back 5. I could put it on one of these guys, but I'm being picky about how I'm putting them together. Just because I can, really. So, without further waffling, let's start painting. So, like I've already done a few steps on this, the base coat for the red armor is corn red. Do a recess wash with Nuln Oil. Then my next 2 steps are edge highlight all the panels with Wazdaka red, and then use Cadian Flesh Tone to do the ultra highlights on it. And you can see I've done the red detail on the Skull Eagle. That's a different red. So, Mephiston red for the base, Nuln Oil wash, Evil Sun Scarlet as the highlight, and then the ultra edge highlight is Fire Dragon Bright. So the step I'm at on this is I've done all of the detail on that. I have just got the armor to base coat and wash. So now I want to go through and do the highlights. So let me prepare my palette. Give my paint a shake up. I'm also trying something a bit different with the stream tonight. I've done some faffing about with with my audio settings. So it's kind of a technical thing, really, not something that you guys should notice, but you should notice, you should be able to hear me, and if I get a follow or a subscription or anything like that, you should be able to hear that quite loudly. But for when I do the YouTube upload, I've got the desktop audio, which is... I actually got that muted, so it doesn't really matter. But that's for where I've got... that's also picking up the desktop audio is picking up the music that I've got playing for me. I don't want that playing... I don't mind it playing on stream, but I don't particularly want it playing on the YouTube version, because copyright strikes, because I'm listening to my YouTube music playlist. So let's not get copyright strikes for having a monomath playing loudly. And instead, let us begin painting. I'm just trying to get my paint mixed properly. You can't see it now because I don't have a palette camera. One of these days I'll see if I can get another camera set up, then I'll need like 3 cameras attached to this computer. I could do it. Or I could use Droid Cam that I've been playing around with, which is quite fun. I can use my phone's camera as a wireless camera. So I can... The idea that I'm going to use it for is for when I'm... if the rats are about... I'll get it set up at some point, but when the rats are awake, I can switch over to the rat cam, which is my phone camera, switched on, and go and wander over and show you the rats being idiots. Hang on, let me try and... Ooh, this is a bit awkward to get into position for, but it's fine. Like I said, I haven't painted with cameras out for a while, so it's a bit awkward. Please say something, a shout up if I go out of view or out of focus or anything. I do appreciate that sections like this are quite hard to see no matter what I do. And if I have it visible for you guys, I can't see what I'm doing. So, yeah, it can be a bit awkward. So this bit might not be quite as visible whilst I paint the underside of the leg here. Greaves, I believe they are. And then I've got here, on top of the foot. So we were having a conversation at work today about coronavirus, because obviously that is a big thing at the moment. And it made me laugh when everyone was like, can we work from home? Well, I mean, we can, because everything we do is online, because I work as a software developer. So should we need to work from home? Oh, my microphone's not pointed at me properly. Should we need to work from home? We absolutely can. But it's a bit difficult because we have a VPN set up to connect into the main servers that we work from. So the solution to that was we'll just pack the computers up and bring them home. Like, we'll just head into the office, grab the computers, pack them up, bring them home, plug them in here. Which, yeah, that'd be fine. Obviously, it means we can still do all the work whilst self-isolating. Or, isolating so we don't catch or spread. Which is good, because, this is a big deal and needs to be taken seriously. I mean, it's easy enough to say, just wash your damn hands, which we should be doing anyway. And I'm obviously no medical expert. I'm a software developer, not a doctor or an immunologist or a viral. I'm not an expert. But we have seen this virus before, because everyone calls it coronavirus, but it's not. It's a coronavirus. It is a virus of the coronavirus family. And they've reclassified it as just being, as being SARS. It is another strain of SARS. So we roughly know what it's going to be like, because there's not enough that differentiates it from the original SARS virus to make it its own strain. That being said, SARS was a big deal. We need to take this seriously. We need to be sensible about it. And when the government says, hey, maybe, don't risk infection, maybe we should take that on board. But until they tell us to do that, we're still going into the office. But it made me laugh because my project manager was like, can you actually work from home? I'm like, I can, but I don't like it too much. I get distracted real easily. I mean, I've got 2 rats behind me. The chances of them making noise and me going, ooh, rats, is quite high. So it could be a distraction. But obviously, you just have to work through it and just have to be disciplined. And I'm going to keep nudging the camera with my face. I'm really sorry about that. If it shakes, it's because it's hit my glasses. And unfortunately, I can't take them off because I can't see without them. Cool. Yeah. We were having a laugh and a joke about, about what we'd do if we were forced to work from home. And like I said, everybody's immediate reaction was, well, I'll just pack the computer up. I've got 2 monitors at home. I've got a decent internet connection. Because we're all nerds. Of course we've got 2 monitors. Of course we've got a decent internet connection. Of course we can take the computers home, plug them in, and just carry on as if nothing has changed. Except, I can go and get a drink a lot easier instead of having to go to the communal kitchen that's always got someone in that seems like they're sleeping on top of a microwave. I don't know what's up with that, but there's always some dude that seems to be sleeping on top of, or like draped over a microwave, I suppose is more accurate than sleeping on top of. I don't understand it. Like, it can't be comfortable. Or at least I wouldn't have thought it was comfortable. Oh, hang on, I can't see an edge. Yeah, I haven't done that edge. Cool, okay. Try and find an angle that works. No idea if you can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the microphone isn't quite working where it is. Where's my tissue paper? There. No, come. There we go. Bear with me whilst I adjust my microphone. I'm just going to turn it off for a second. Okay, let's try that. That might be a bit better. How are my levels? Yeah, I think that's going to be a bit easier on me. It's still going to be in the way a bit, but not quite as badly. I don't know. Like I said, this setup is a work in progress because I haven't done it for a while, and I've changed equipment slightly. Have I done? I did do this side, I'm sure I did. I can't see it very well, but I did. Yeah, itchy nose. Right, sorry, I'm just looking at a few other things. Okay, there we go. Okay, so if I'm not clonking into it in one direction, I'm clonking into things in another direction. That's wonderful. I do apologise if there's lots of noise from me bouncing off my surroundings like that. It's a bit difficult to get the microphone close enough to pick me up properly. And also not get it so close that I bounce off it. As you can tell, I haven't quite got the balance there just yet. I thought grabbing the dynamic mic would be a bit better because with the condenser I have to be fairly close to it for it to pick it up. They're not... Oh. No, condensers are more sensitive, so I should be... I may have picked the wrong microphone for the job here. I think I've picked the wrong microphone for the job on this one. My bad. I mean, to be fair, as long as you can hear me, it should be fine. I'm actually kind of getting used to painting at this sort of distance from the model, because I normally paint a hell of a lot closer and crouched up so that I'm, hunkered down on the model against the desk, which is not good for my back. And considering I've already got back issues, it's a silly idea to make them worse. Where did I set my focus point? Right here. It's one of those things. Oh, it's about there. Okay. Maybe I want to bring that up a bit now that I'm painting. I'm still getting used to it. Yeah, if I'm going to be painting. Okay. The light is a bit of an issue. Let's see if I can bring that. Okay, yeah, that's better. It's a bit further over. Let's just adjust my focus. Hey. That looks better. Man, one of these days I should get a wet palette set up. I tried it once. It was okay. I didn't really get it. Everybody online's like, oh, you use a wet palette and you never go back. I did. Now, admittedly, I'm not the best painter out there, but I used a wet palette and then kind of gave up with it. Because I don't know, I just found it hard to manage the paint on it. I also found it quite difficult to have enough space on my desk. But that's a me issue. That's not an issue with the wet palette. All my issues with the wet palette are me issues and not wet palette issues. But specifically, it was difficult to find a place to put it, and my paint separated really quickly on it, which is what it's supposed to stop them from doing. So I kind of gave up on it pretty quickly. But then again, I may have been using the wrong paper, the wrong... You know, I might not have got it set up right. I'll go back to it at some point and check it out. Oh, you can actually see the highlights quite well on stream. Christ, sorry. Scraping against the microphone with my face. I was worried because these shades of red are fairly similar. Oh god. Again, that you wouldn't actually be able to see them when I'm painting it. Because I know it's quite difficult in real life to see them. But they look good enough on stream. My paint is drying on my palette. Oh, there we go. That's a nice big blob of wet paint. That may be too wet now. Oh no. My bristle is falling out. Or is that just dust? That's dust. That's a small fibre of dust attached to the end of my paintbrush. Never mind. How did I get to? Oh yeah, I'm doing this thigh armour. Yeah, this is quite watery. It may not produce the best effect, but I'll keep going and see. It looks like you can still see it on stream, and I know the colours on my screen are a bit wonky because I've got it. I've got nightlight mode on to reduce blue because I suffer from insomnia, and blue light has been proven to affect that. I had an abysmal night sleep yesterday, Monday night. So anything I can do to not do that again, I'll give it a go. Though I've tried basically everything at this point, so it's one of them things. But yeah, the point I was getting at is the colours on my screen are a bit wonky, but I can still see the paint that I'm putting on the model quite nicely, so the colours are different enough. Okay. I think that's a good enough mix now. It's not quite as liquid. Yeah, that's better consistency. You can't see that, but it looks really good. Really, really good. Okay, I just need to get slightly further away from the microphone. Like, it's still picking me up fine. I'm still in yellow, which is a good place to be on the monitor. But if I can get far enough away that I don't clonk my face against it constantly, then we're winning. this step is the most time-consuming part of painting these models, doing these highlights, because every panel has an edge that needs highlighting slightly. Even if you're just running a line around the edge of it, you know, along an edge like this, it still takes ages to do, because obviously you don't want to do it too heavy and too thick, and you don't want to get into the details badly. But it's worth it when they're finished, because, like, other than needing to finish off the strap on that dude, I think the highlights look really good. So, I mean, microphone, no. It's, you know, it's my own fault for being picky and being a bit of a perfectionist and trying to get them done as good as I can. But at the same time, I kind of want to. It'd be nice to be able to make some money doing this. So I do actually have plans to sell some of my models that I've painted once I finish the set. In fact, give me half a second and I'll go and grab the models that I'm thinking of selling. There we go. Right, the models I'm thinking of selling, actually, are the Games Workshop First... Is it First Strike? Yeah, the First Strike intro set. And this is from the one side, the Ultramarines. I've painted them up as closely as I can to the studio colour scheme, because, you know, it's nice. It's nicer to have them at the studio colour scheme if you're going to sell them, because then you can be like, no, this is the box art. Though there is a few bits and pieces I need to go back and clean up, I can see now. But yeah, I think this would be, if I, once I've finished them and sell them, it'll be nice to buy, for someone to buy a starter set that is fully painted, so they can just get going and learn the game, and they don't have to worry about painting the models themselves. So there's those three intercessors in the set, and then you get the Reavers. Oh, I've missed a purity seal on him. Okay, I'll have to go back and clean that up before I can sell them. Can't sell them with bits not painted. I thought I'd got all of them. To be honest, I didn't realise that these guys had purity seals on them. I thought that... Oh no, he has. And I've painted that one. Anyway, yeah, obviously they're not quite finished yet. And I've still got the other side to do. I've still got the Chaos Space Marines. But these, at some point, will be going up for sale on eBay. And like I say, I think it's a nice... It'd be nice... I think I can justify selling them. Obviously, I can't justify selling them as pro-painted, because they're not and I'm not. They're not pro-painted and I'm not a pro-painter. But they are painted to a relatively high standard and would be perfect for people that want to get in and learn the game, or people buying the game as a gift for someone else who may not want to or be able to paint them. Because not everybody that plays Warhammer can paint, either physically can't paint due to disabilities or whatever, or just don't feel they have the ability to. So, you know, I quite enjoyed painting those models, so I would be happy to paint up another set of them as well, just in case anybody else wanted one. So it might be something I'll look into doing. I've got the Death Guard Plague Marines done, but I haven't got the Poxwalkers done yet. just because I wanted to take a break from painting that set for a while, because I'd been spending a lot of time on them. Oops, I keep clanking the microphone. And actually, if I remember, yeah, so this is one of the Reavers that very definitely came in that set, and you can see the slot on the base is blue. That's from the Get Started kit, because they did the Space Marines in blue plastic and the Chaos Space Marines in green plastic. This Intercessor is done in grey plastic. This was, I can't remember where I got this from now. I think it might have been from one of the Get Started painting kits. It's still the same figures that they sell in that are in the First Strike box. It's just they are literally just made from a different run, so they're in different plastic because they were from the intro painting set that comes with like 5 or 6 colors. So, I mean, it's not an issue with those models. It's just I'd forgotten I did that until then. Yeah. Like I say, I'm quite tempted to get that set finished and put it up on eBay for folks that might be looking to get into the hobby and want to play the game. These probably won't get sold because it's very difficult to sell a homebrew chapter. And considering it's not even my homebrew chapter, it's someone else's that I found online, I probably won't sell them. I mean, even if I wanted to, like I said, I don't think I'd be able to. People don't tend to buy homebrew chapters unless they're buying them to strip the paint off them, and that would feel like a bit of a waste with the amount of work that I've put in on these ones. So I would prefer that people didn't strip the paint, so I'll probably keep them myself. Oh, Little Bankai, thank you very much for the follow. How are you doing? Are you having a good day? Has your day begun yet, or is it still beginning for you? And like I said, please, I do apologize for the clanking of my face against the microphone. I'm still getting used to this setup. I haven't done any painting streams for a while. And I still need to set up some painting alerts so that if I go out of focus or out of view, you can alert me in chat. But that will happen probably about the same time that I pay for an artist to do some proper animations for me. Because I tried it. I tried doing pixel animations and I sucked. I ended up doing a 2-frame pixel animation and it was bad, which you just saw on the follow alert. So, knowing your limits, knowing my limits, I will quite happily pay an artist to do that for me. In fact, I think I know an artist that's prepared to do that. I just need to actually get the money together to do it. I added her on Steam a long time ago and never actually messaged her about it. It was a course mate of a friend doing an art course at university. And she's been on my Steam friends list for like 2 years, and I haven't mentioned doing any of the animation work to her. Because, quite frankly, I'm scared of how much she's going to charge me. Like, you have to pay your artists a decent wage, because art is a skill that... Art and animation is a skill that I do not have, but it's expensive, and I'm saving up for a wedding, and I'm poor. No, life is just expensive. So, I need to sort out my design brief. Get it in the hands of some artists, get quotes, and then save up some money. Because I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh man, I was only hoping to pay like 20 quid for this. You want 6 animations, it's not going to be 20 quid. Yeah, but it's a bit expensive, isn't it? You know, I don't want to be that guy. I know how much work I put into these models, and if somebody asked me to do a model for £5, I'd probably be a bit annoyed. So asking someone to do some animations, even if they are short animations, 23 even at 12 frames a second, that's still, if I wanted a 2-second animation, that's still 24 frames of artwork that needs to be done. Yes, there's assets that could be reused and whatnot. The artist would know how best to make it easier on themselves, but yeah. Still, you need to pay them a decent wage because they're doing things that I can't do. You want me to program a thing? I can program a thing. Can't draw very well. Though I did do the art that I've got in the top corner of my stream. Just up there. Just that dude there, the little Viking tomato. I drew that. It's not great, but it works. Sorry, I appreciate you couldn't actually see what I was doing there, but this is the only angle I could actually see what I was doing. Man, this is great. I haven't actually done any painting properly for a little while. I keep doing little bits and pieces here and there. And I finished off the third Blood Eagle Marine here, like, yesterday when I was ill. Oh, God. I'm rattling off everything at the moment. I do hope it's not making too much noise. But yeah, these have been on my paint station for like 2-3 months now. Normally I'd have just screamed straight through them and got them done, but obviously, try and set myself at an angle. The more detail I try and put in, the longer they take, because I've got to do more and be more careful and take more time. And I do apologise if I go silent and the stream is just dead air for a little while. I don't have music playing out to stream just purely because, although I suppose I've got the audio muted on my end, or at least I've got the output muted, and I've got it all separated, so I suppose I could turn my music on. You would have to deal with heavy metal, but I could do that. Okay, that's the calf done. So now onto the thigh. I do like the design, the new. I get a bit annoyed with some of the design elements of the Primaris Marines. I don't overly like the helmets. They're a bit boring. And you don't have. There's no more beakies. Quite disappointed that there's no Primaris beakies, because the beakies were always my favourite helmet design. And were it possible to buy a box of 10,000 beaky helmets, I would have bought one ages ago, just so I could put every Space Marine I own with a beaky helmet. Unfortunately, I don't have an example of a beaky helmet to hand, so I can't show off what the hell I mean, but... No, because those are still Primaris, aren't they? Okay. Yeah, I don't have an example of a beaky helmet. It's essentially a Space Marine helmet, just it's got a snoot. And I prefer them. I don't know why. I just like the look of them a bit more. But to my knowledge, they don't do that for Primaris Marines. Though I think the helmets are still the same size as standard Space Marine, as standard Tactical Marine helmets. So it might be possible to use them on Primaris Marines. I might have to check that out. Damn it, I keep hitting everything. I'm so sorry. I keep bouncing off every surface here. Everything's very scrunched up. Like I said, if it is causing a lot of noise in the stream, please let me know and I will adjust. Excuse me, after I finished belching. No, sorry. If I'm not bouncing off my webcam mount, I'm bouncing off the microphone at the moment. And that must be so frustrating. Okay, yep. We've got... Oh yeah, I need to do around those circular elements on the leg. One of the big reasons why I keep bouncing off the webcam mount... Oh god, I've left Facebook open. Wondered why there was a pung noise. Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna close that window. Right, hang on. Get back to... Yeah, you didn't hear that because I've got my desktop audio muted. I heard it, and it was annoying. Yes, one of the reasons why I keep bouncing off certainly the webcam mount is because I'm real used to being really up close to my models, and being just that bit further away is awkward. So I keep trying to get closer and then realizing that there's a boom arm in the way that vibrates every time I hit it, or it appears every time I move. Oh man, there's a piece of dust just on the edge of the paintbrush. It's really annoying. Okay, I think I got rid of it. Keep getting these little fibers on the end of my paintbrush, which is probably fine, but I don't want to risk them dragging a load of paint across the model in places I don't want it. And I'm still trying to get too close to the camera. And I bounce off the microphone again. God. Okay. Stop talking about that now because I'm getting self-conscious about it. And I'm probably going to keep doing it if I keep thinking about it. Okay, so let's talk about this chapter. Like I said, these are the Blood Eagle Space Marines. If you have watched the Vikings TV series or know anything about the Viking people, you will probably know what a Blood Eagle is. Problem is, it probably didn't actually happen. As far as I've been able to find out doing reading, there's not a great deal of evidence for Blood Eagling happening, and the written accounts, all of the written accounts that I've been able to see are kind of they make it sound much the same as Thor riding across the sky to reclaim his hammer from the frost giants. It sounds a little bit mythical, so the suspicion is that the Vikings never actually Blood Eagled anybody. If you don't know what a Blood Eagle is, it's real violent. I won't go into details because it could be a bit, I suppose, triggering for some people that have been through violence or had violence directed towards them or whatever, witnessed accidents and whatnot. But it's real violent, and not pleasant. So obviously, you name your Space Marines after that, don't you? Of course you do. But yeah, like I said, these are Viking inspired. The planet in the homebrew that I read that they come from is Scando 5, like Scandinavia. And yeah, it's so so cheesy. Scando 5, but then again, that's the basic level that Games Workshop operate at anyway. I mean, they have a Primarch called Lionel Johnson. The company that started the phrase grimdark has a character called Fulgrim. I wish I was joking. It sounds ridiculous when you start saying these things out loud. Oh yes, Fulgrim, not half grim. But yeah, anyway, so they're from the planet Scando 5, and in lore, if I remember correctly, like they have competitions every morning, they have battles every morning, potentially to the death, depending on how excited they get, to decide what rank they are, I suppose. Their position in hierarchy. And it just, like, yes, I know that Valhalla is supposed to be the realm where where they fight and feast and die and fight and feast and die, over and over again. But it's like they didn't do that in real life. And when a Space Marine dies, they do die. It's not like they've just popped back up. They are actually dead. So I'm probably not going to use that version of the lore. I might come up with something myself. I'm thinking about it, actually. Whilst I'm doing this, I can start brainstorming some stuff. Because I happen to know that the Vikings had I happen to know the name of a Viking town, Trousseau, because because my fiance, who is Polish, comes from the town that now exists where Trousseau used to be. Or very close to the site of Trousseau, which was a big trading hub, part of the amber trade, the amber routes. Because if you go up the road to the beach, close to where my fiance used to live, you can just find amber washing up on the shore. Obviously now you're not finding great big chunks anymore, or if you do, they're not very often. But you can just find amber washing up on the shore. We actually did find some. We went amber hunting one day when we were there, and we did find some amber, which was really cool. But yeah, so I think maybe these come from Trousseau 4, the planet Trousseau, fourth planet in the Trousseau system. Why fourth? Because it was Scando 5, and I want to drop it down a little bit. Yeah, okay. So I finished doing the edge highlighting on this guy. You can just about see it. It catches the light in places. So now I'm going to do this one. And it's more of the same, unfortunately. It is a little bit mind-numbing, but it does need doing. So we carry on. Okay, I know what the problem is. I'm getting close to the microphone because I don't want to be too far away. And obviously, the further away I am, the different it picks up differently. So that's why I keep clonking off it, because I'm trying to get close enough that it's not the volume's right. So okay, yeah, I need to fix that for next time. Cool. Okay, so they're from Trousseau 4. What chapter are they a successor? Because I don't know whether I care for them being Blood Angels successors. Don't know if that's... To be honest, I don't know what the Blood Angels get other than the Red Thirst, which turns them into vampires. I mean, I could have Vampire Space Marines. Vampire Space Marines doesn't seem very Viking, and I don't want them to be Space Wolf successor chapter, because if they are Space Wolf successor chapter, it kind of hints that I should be using Space Wolf models, and I'm not buying any more models for a while. I have too much to paint. I'm working steadily through my list, and I keep adding onto it by going, oh, I could, strip the paint off these and repaint them. It's like, yeah, I could do, or I could just paint what I've got and not add more to my painting list. My to-do list is already too damn long. I could do them as Ultramarine successors for now, at least, because at least then they get standard Codex compliance. And considering how good the Vikings were as warriors, I feel Codex compliancy would be something that would probably work for them in lore. Maybe? I don't know. Who is the chapter master? Oh. Dropship DM is hosting. Thank you very much. Dropship DM is one of my friends. He's also my DM for my D&D games on Tuesday, which I didn't go to yesterday because I was the ills. And on his stream, he builds D&D worlds. And keeps badgering me to build my D&D world on stream. Friend. I mean, acquaintance sounds formal and mortal enemy. I don't know. That has an air, that has gravity to it that I'm not sure I want. I wouldn't call you my mortal enemy. Yeah, I know. Yes, I'll do my I'll do some stuff for Viking Tomato. So the character in the top of my stream, you are coming to my channel in a few weeks, and I will make an enemy out of you. Buddy, we're already enemies. I'm just better than you. We have a friendly rivalry. Yeah, so the character in the top of my stream, just up there, is my Viking Tomato. I came up with him years and years and years ago at college, after having spent far too long online and not had enough sleep. And there was a whole conversation, and then out of it, the Viking Tomato appeared. And I've been doodling it ever since, and I keep saying I should do something with this. And a few years ago, I put together a real rough, bare-bones role-playing system with the Viking Tomato. And in the Viking Tomato world of Fridgeguard, it's real cheesy. Yeah, so there's a whole cast of characters that I've got worked out. There's the Viking Tomato himself, then there's the Paladin, because it's a paladin, but he's a pear, so he's the Paladin. There's the Cranberry Sorcerer. Sorcerer spelt Sauce. So it's sauce-era cranberry sauce. Yeah. The rhubarbarian. Was it broccoli rogue because disguise self tree? No, broccoli ranger. Sprout rogue because combat roll. Just dodge out the way. Who else do we have? The chili cleric because the burn means it's working. Then there was the feta, the fighter. And I can't remember all of the rubbish that we spouted about Pineapple Warlock. I can't remember all of the silliness that came out about the feta, but he was a fighter and he was really gooder. Yeah, it's painfully cheesy. But yeah, it was designed to be a kid-friendly introduction to role-playing and to D&D and stuff like that. And I got to like the second version of the rule set and gave up because at the time it was really difficult to get anyone to help me, or I say to get anyone, to get my then girlfriend to help me, because every time I asked her, she was like, "Oh, I don't know anything about it. I don't know how to do this." Despite having claimed that she had played D&D she'd played D&D 3.5 for 12 years, and she was a better role player than the rest of us. She wasn't. Like, I wouldn't have minded if she was. That would have been great, but she just didn't want to help me. So it kind of died, and I haven't done any work on it since, other than the occasional doodle of a character. Pineapple Warlock with a pizza pact. I'm not angry, Joel, I'm just disappointed. Sorry, Shropshire DM. Shouldn't be using your real name. I need more paint because the paint I'm using has dried out. Don't dox me. Like anyone would want to know where you live. Anyway, now that I've stopped doxing my friends, yeah, one of these days I'll do a bit more work on the Viking Tomato stuff. At some point I should do a drawing stream where I actually run through and draw some of the characters, because it's quite fun to do. Where am I? I think I've done that leg now, haven't I? No, I haven't. I haven't done the back. Damn it. Done the back of the leg. Cool. Yeah, the Viking Tomato is a world that I need to get back to. Because I also do, for my D&D group, I do little canvases of artwork. I don't want to say I forgot. I didn't make time to do them for the D&D group for this Christmas. It is entirely my own fault, and I am entirely to blame. So I need to get off my ass and get them sorted for next year, so that I can actually give everybody last year's canvas and also this year's. So I need to figure out exactly what I'm doing with them all. And I might actually do that on stream one day, because it's fun and silly. I could probably use this layout, actually. Yeah, I could use this layout for doing a drawing stream. Art is still art, even if it's stupid microphone. Oh my god. I can't get comfortable without bouncing my face off the microphone, apparently. It must get really annoying. I am sorry. Like I said, this streaming setup is a work in progress. Continual work in progress. But try and remember some of the other characters from the Viking Tomato world. I know I was toying with, like, I wanted to make a bard, and I couldn't work out what to make the bard. I did think of an onion bard, because onion bargy, onion bard. I don't know why. That's the only thing I could think of for bard, and onion came first, and I was like, well, how the hell do I justify onions? At least rhubarbarian, it has some of the same syllables in it. And I'm certainly not going to try and work out how to draw an onion bargy without it looking like a lump of poo, because my art is terrible. We've already established this. But bean bard, yeah, actually, like you say, it's the musical fruit. Beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel. So eat your beans for every meal. Yeah, okay. Holding my arm in a weird position that I'm not used to try and get better angle for painting. It's not working very well, and it's just hurting. What time is it? It's 20 past. No, it's 10 past 8. Okay. I will paint. I will be going for another 20 minutes, and then I will have to end the stream because I've got to get stuff sorted for taking Lexi to work. But yes, I like the idea of a bean bard. And also, bean bag works, so I'm gonna go harass another friend who's currently live. You're the first channel I've attempted to host. Ooh. I feel privileged and special in many ways. Okay, thank you for popping in, Joel. Drops your DM, damn it. Yeah, it's hard when you know people's names. Yes, I am special. Now, yeah, so there was a brief aside about the Viking Tomato. I don't feel that using Fridgeguard as the home world for these guys would be very appropriate. It's a little bit silly. So, yeah. Unless I... Yeah. I still like using... I like the idea of using the word trousseau in part of the name. For the name of the planet. But I don't quite know. I don't know. I'm not very good at coming up with lore for Space Marines. I think too much about a lot of unnecessary stuff and get bogged down in it, so it gets difficult sometimes. But you know what? It's fine, because it doesn't have to be great, because this isn't professional. They are not going to be published in a codex or anything like that. So it doesn't matter. Though I might actually spend a bit of time and come up with some like chapter organization diagrams and stuff like that, just for my own nerdery, really. It's fun to work out how the different companies work together and stuff. But I don't know. When I have time to do that and brain power, I will do. I need to spend a bit of time looking through the codex and actually figuring out how they do it officially, and whether or not I want to stick to that, whether I want to make my dudes different, and how and why they are different. Ooh, bloody hell. Sorry, that was probably really loud. I turned and the microphone was closer than I was expecting. I know I've already done that leg, but it didn't look quite right, so I just wanted to go over it. Forever disappointed at how much darker these paints go when they dry. Still looks good though. Yeah, I'm gonna have a look at the. I do really enjoy the color scheme that I've gone for and how well it's come out. So I'm definitely gonna come up with something for them and actually turn them into a bit of a project. I kind of want to get a tank and paint it up in these colors. It's bad because I don't really have the room to store a tank or Terminators or whatever, but I kind of want them because I'm a big nerd and it's really easy to get me to buy stuff from Games Workshop, which is one of the reasons why I've had to force myself to stop interacting with Games Workshop as much, other than to go in and buy paints every now and then. I love the models almost always. Almost always when I look at the models, I really enjoy how they look, how they're designed, how they're done. But at the same time, I don't have the money for all the models that I want to be buying. So oh well. I'll just have to wait till because I mean the only reason I've got these models is I didn't buy them. My parents run a shop, and it is vaguely related to modelling in that it is a radio-controlled car shop. And at some point, I'm going to buy a car from them and assemble it on stream. Because I think it'd be quite fun, because I never actually assembled my old cars when I was racing, because I was too young and my dad did it for me, because he enjoyed putting them together. That's gone wrong. So I actually want to sit and assemble one and set it all up. But yeah, every now and then, Games Workshop message my dad, send him a letter and send him out an intro pack that has the get started painting kit with the 3 Marines, a couple of paints, and a cheapy paintbrush. And they send him, he gets a box of the Primaris Marines. It's where I got the First Strike box from as well, because Dad got it and just sort of went, "Do you want this?" Because he's never going to do anything with it. So I ended up with some free Warhammer models. So I'm just going to wait for Dad to get another one of the starter boxes, the welcome packs from Games Workshop, and then just do up another squad of these, and then I've got 2 tactical squads. And then all I need to do is pick up like a Primaris Force Commander or something, and then I've got a basic army. Maybe. I still don't know if that's what I want to do, and I certainly don't know if I want to spend all that money on it. Because the Primaris Force Commander that I was looking at is about 25 quid. Or was it 15? I can't remember. Either way, it was a lot of money for a single model. And it wasn't even one of the big ones. 15 quid for a single model of this size, obviously with a lot of optional extras and a lot of weapon choices and armament choices and stuff. It's still real pricey, and I just don't know if I'm prepared to pay for that. So it might just be something that I think about and never actually do. Yeah. You may have noticed I just moved the microphone slightly. Hopefully it hasn't adjusted the voice quality too much, but I'm attempting to refine the position so that I'm not I'm not bouncing off it constantly. Hopefully, it all still sounds good, and you didn't notice too much. And if you did, well, I'm sorry. The only problem with it is, because of the way the microphone is held on it, my paintbrush is likely to knock into it when I'm reloading it on the palette. And I'm still bouncing off it with my glasses, so that didn't work. I mean, it was worth a try. Right, how am I going to get the angle on that? God. This may just be a bit that I have to paint whilst you can't really see it, unless you can see what I'm doing there. Yeah, I can just about get it so you can see it. Yeah, just about. It's good enough. And whilst I'm here, I will do this edge as well. Oops. This is an awkward angle to be painting at. Am I still in focus? Yeah, I am. Actually, I'm doing quite well this stream of staying in camera and staying at the right sort of height for my focus level. I'm quite proud of that. Though I am still nudging the camera with my nose. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to spend a bit of time figuring out my camera and video off stream. Camera and video. Camera and microphone whilst I'm off stream. It's good to know that it all works and that people can hear me. But it is not in the ideal placement and I keep hitting it with my face. So I'll figure that one out. No, I've made that worse by moving the camera there. The microphone there. So hang on, let me gently readjust it up here a bit more. That should be better. I'm certainly not going to hit it with the paintbrush as much. Hopefully I won't hit it with my face quite so often, but it is still close to me, so... Anyway, enough of me rambling about microphone setups and stuff. Let's try and sit up a bit straighter. What time are we on? 20 past. Okay, so I've got 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to end the stream. I wonder, can I get this model finished in 10 minutes? I don't know, but I'm going to give it a try. Because if I can, it'll be quite handy for the next time I do this. Because then I know how much I can paint in... Obviously the model is not completely finished anyway, but if I can get this step done, then I know how long it's going to take me to do each phase of the model. Yeah, if I can do 2 in an hour and a half, it's roughly 45 minutes each, which will help inform me for future painting stuff. I'm doing my best not to rush. Part of me now wants to rush to make sure it's finished, but I'm doing my best not to because that would be bad and that would affect the quality of the model. But I do also really want to get it done so that I can be like, I did 2 models on stream. But No, patience grasshopper. My paint is dry. I need to reload my palette a little bit. Bit more paint on the palette. I don't need too much more because I'm not going for too much longer now. There we go. Did I do that line? I think I did just do that line, didn't I? Yes, I have done that. Cool. We're getting there. Ooh. It's a shame, for copyright reasons, that I can't play the music I'm listening to, because Brothers of Metal's Endless Saga has just started playing, and I really love the intro, because Ylva sings in Swedish, and it's really pretty. And then it goes into a song that is a heavy metal rendition of the Norse creation myth, which is just bonkers. Because the Norse creation story starts out, first there was ice and snow, then a giant appeared, and also a big and then a giant cow. It's like, what? Hang on, what? First there was nothing, then there was a giant and a cow. What? Then the cow licks one of the other gods out of the ice and snow. The giant's hands mate and have 3 children or something. The god that gets licked out of the snow, Buri, somehow gets a son, and the son gets a wife, and none of these people are mentioned previously. It's like, hang on, there has to have been a mother to the child that Buri just had. Who is she? And also, who is Buri's son's wife? Because she just suddenly appears. Like, where the hell does she come from? She's the daughter of the giant, Bestla. And Bor and Bestla have 3 children, Vili, Vi, and Odin. And then Vili, Vi, and Odin kill the first giant Ymir and spread his body out to make Earth. Then when they finish doing that, they go for a walk, find some logs floating in the sea, and turn them into people. It's weird. It's so heavy metal, and I'm so glad that they tackled it, because no other band that I've listened to has tackled that myth. And I don't think any other band could have done it justice other than Brothers of Metal, because it's so silly that it needs their tongue-in-cheek sort of attitude. And with that, I have actually finished doing the lining on this model. So, cool. I actually achieved what I wanted to do tonight. Things I need to do now for these two is I need to do their power packs, because these are ready to go. I need to paint their heads. Again, these are ready to go. They just need highlight layers. And I'm going to do the shoulder pads, which means I have to do more freehanding, because, as I said, can't find a transfer for that. Have to do it myself. And disappointingly, they've gotten kind of worse over time, because the first one I did actually looks really good. I'm not quite as happy with that one, but it's still okay. And then the third one, I may end up redoing that, because I'm not too happy with that. But for tonight, that is it. So, boop, there we go. Right. I'm going to move this out of the way. And I'm going to find someone on Twitch to host. Because that appears to be the thing that you do. So let's have a look. If anybody has any suggestions for painting streamers that I should host, then please let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna let's see. Additional art. Let's try miniatures. Miniature figures. I was gonna thought for a second that I was the only person streaming miniatures. No, that is not true. Let's see. Who can I throw you all at? Who can I raid? I think I will raid Giggling Geekette. So let me remember how to do that over here on the keyboard, away from the microphone. Boom. There we go. So off we go to Giggling Geekette, and thank you very much for joining me, folks.